Welcome. We're gonna kickstart today with a little community garden building. Hope you're all doing well today. Community garden build lot in Newcrest on I believe 40 by 30 lot. So go to our previous one. This one's from last night. And then once we load it, we'll go ahead and head ready. So we have plenty of options to choose from for what we're going to do for our build. I think we'll start off nice and easy by sectioning off where we want our build to be. And again, for this, we're doing a series for community lots, trying to showcase the fact that there's a lot that you can do with base game. So we won't be using any packs in this build. It's just going to be good old classic free base game. And if you have any suggestions or ideas on how to make the build better, then please speak up and we will adjust. And we will be also adjusting things as we build. Leave that space open. And perhaps an open space here as well. I was thinking that perhaps we could utilize some terrain tools and make this space over here into something of a drive-in section where people come in with their cars, they park, see how it goes. And then over here is our primary section where we'll be growing stuff in containers and pots. While over here we can have a little bit of an orchard perhaps with some trees. And then over here we'll put up some tables and items so that people are free and available to sell the things that they've grown. It'll look great. In a little bit. It's a little bit more room. And start off with pulling up cheats. That's Control-Shift-C. And we'll be opening up debug with show hidden objects. And BB.show live edit objects. And move objects, which allows you to move objects to places that the game doesn't normally allow. Very simple, very nice. You know, the more I'm looking at this fencing, the more I feel like maybe a lighter tone might be better. A softer wood, perhaps, instead of a darker green. We'll keep an eye on that, see how we feel about it. But for now, going into debug, I'm going to grab some kind of vehicle. Not something quite so extensive or exciting as a train, but we'll keep an eye out for something a little bit more reasonable. Perhaps something like this. Or more likely some kind of truck I would feel would be appropriate for driving up so many trains. there's a lot of options in debug, to be honest. We could even have a couple cars if we wanted to. Yeah, I think I was thinking of this orange truck. Then we might be able to find some bags or boxes that we can use. Or we could do the green one. I think. I might go with the... I'll let them both for now. And then we can swap one out later on, depending on... Just keep the green one for now. And then put stones, I think, all the way around this space. Put pavers. Over here. Grab some more simplistic stone. And then we'll also have some over here. Go back to the terrain tools and then shrink down our brush size a bit. And then kind of add a nice path over. And then one over here as well. And perhaps over here too. Because over in this space we could add a nice restroom too. It's always nice when you're doing builds that are community lots. Make sure that you have a bathroom going on, just so that other Sims have a spot to go. Although we could just continue the flagstones underneath this space as well. And if we wanted to, we could even put a little bit of fencing here. Again, sticking to base game. See about adding something that looks like it would belong in an outside space. And then over in this space is just going to be an orchard, if we can get that going. Just a little bit more pavers over there. And that should give us plenty of space over here to add a pergola. Really makes the space feel pretty cute, pretty nice. And then, of course, we're going to go ahead and get classic boxes, little planter boxes for our beautiful community garden. Nice pergola to keep them all looking good. And then add this space just to have room for your sim to walk around. We'll adjust these. Let me adjust this right now, actually. I'm gonna maintain this where it is, then this will get moved. But it might be better to keep working on getting all this looking nice first. Maybe a couple smaller ones. Go ahead and also add in a bathroom up in here, just so that we have a spot to throw things away if we need to. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna turn these into a different swatch. Still look a little different. And then adjust this, of course. That spot with our terrain tools. No problems. And then in the in-between we'll add some lovely flowers and greenery over here, and over here. So that won't be any sort of issue at all. We'll just go ahead and put some nice stones all the way around this path, and then fill everything else up with plants and bushes. To really add something nice to the space. You can even shrink some of these down a bit to get some more variety, rather than just flipping them around a little bit. Like I said, it's not a huge deal to use some of the same things a few times. Still looks pretty nice. We'll cut into this a little bit, perhaps. I'll put some stones to delineate the path, but if we decide to add something here later, we will then take the stones back out. I have some ideas for what we could do there. I might also just fill this whole corner in, and then cut it off like so. Simple, easy. Just takes time. As long as you're willing to put in a little bit of effort, a bit of time to really get these going, you can end up with quite a nice looking space. Give it a look-see, make sure you like what you've done. Maybe adjust if you don't. Well, I suppose since we've kind of added this open space, perhaps I should leave that open and keep these stones over here instead. The downside with this is you can't actually connect these two because you only have the game's border here. But you do what you can with what you got. In this case, we've got a bunch of rocks. So we're looking pretty good so far. We'll fill in all these spaces with some lovely bushes and shrubbery. Really get it looking nice. Let's start with some low-lying plants. I enjoy these on the edges, especially as they tend to have a good range. You can fill them up and they'll spill between the stones. You can use your bracket keys as well to make them larger. And when you do that, they fill up the space wonderfully. Ooh. Try not poking through the fence too much. This is, of course, a garden lot, so there's going to be plenty of bushes and plants. It'll look rather lovely when we're done with it. I also have an idea that, see how you guys feel about it, of using some of the star string lights that we have in base game and connecting them between a couple of posts. Now keep in mind when you're doing this sort of stuff, you don't have to do things the way I'm doing things. If you don't like this kind of overgrown, lush look, if you wanted something more simplistic, you could use some of these like non-grasses or the cacti with a couple of the aloe vera kind of plants, succulents, like there's a wide range of options available to you, and feel free to use whatever you like that you think looks nice and is most comfortable for you. You don't have to do anything that a streamer does. If you want to take their build ideas and make it your own, you can make it however you like. If you think that something looks much better done differently, then do it differently. See how it looks, see how it feels. Let's got a few of these quaking aspen trees. We'll rotate them a little bit. That's looking pretty good so far. But still have more to fill in below. So, thinking we could do lavender. Just get a ton of these lavender bushes, really fill up the space. And we can also use hydrangeas if we like. The blue ones are lovely, so are the pink ones, and there's also a set of white ones. But we could also just stick to hydrangeas to fill in the color and maybe grab some smaller, shorter plants as well. Some of the little blooming flowers that we have in here. But it's nice to have a more cohesive look by grabbing similar or the same items and using them in multiple places throughout your build. So if you just add just these daisies in one spot and nowhere else, sometimes it looks a little incohesive. So it's nice to add them throughout the build rather than just one place. You see how as we go along, we're really filling up and adding to this space. Layers and layers of different kinds of flowers and shrubs and bushes that really fill in the whole space. Make it look more natural. Like how flowers typically grow and tossed out and about. And you could rotate them so they look a little bit different, so they're not just the same throughout. Throw down small ones. Take them, use your bracket key on shift, and you can make them bigger as well. And then we're using some of these assorted wildflowers. They have a good number of swatches to them, so if you wanted to spice things up, you could also add in different colors. And of course, we're going to continue to add in a bunch of the lavender hedges, and as well as the little small bushes. Really fill up this space. Extra spaces, we can continue to layer more green grass, more bushes, more flowers, and just really fill it up till it's lush. It's very lovely, right? You could, of course, use fern in that section, so I might actually toss it a couple places elsewhere, just so that it wasn't just sitting alone in that one spot. I might add a little bit of grass over here and over here. Fill it in a little bit more. You see how full that looks, how beautiful, how lush. Perhaps one more over in this corner. And then it's important to hit save when you're using a lot of items and you work really hard. You don't want to lose all the progress that you've made. And this is probably something a little bit on the silly side, but I might use a little bit of terrain paint to showcase that These cars drove up here. Might be a little bit too heavy. Looks like bum 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 rather than a smooth steady line. But we can come back to it later if we want. Do it again. Maybe just a slightly lighter bit of dirt would be better. Like that. And we can also grab some dirt edges of our plants here. Poking out between the rocks. It's a nice contrast. I'll let the line of our rocks lead us all the way around. To be as accurate as I'm doing here, you can just kind of fill in as you want to fill in, where you want to fill in, and do what you like if you're building something. There's no issue or trouble to just do whatever you want to do when you want to do it. All these are just suggestions on how to make your build look the way you want it to. And do we have a little stone? Because it kind of looks like it's hiding our space away. There we go. Looking pretty good, aren't we? So I was thinking either for this space or for this space, we could go ahead and take, this star stringlets and hold that up. You take a pillar, such as this one, perhaps this one. There's a wide range of options to choose from, but we take them. See if we have any in a more natural wood tone. And we could add the string lights onto the pillars, like so. It's just an idea, of course, and we don't have to do the string lights specifically. It's just a nice thought, if we wanted to do so. You can lift it up with the 9 key, hang it up, and then you have these really cute little posts. And we can keep going if we wanted to do so. And if we decide that it just doesn't look quite nice, or doesn't look as we had hoped, we can just delete them, and it's not a big deal. Now this is up 2 sizes, and then you use the 9 key to raise it. As long as you have move objects on, this should be a problem. Nice and easy. Just notice this isn't all the way. Simple, cute. You could even put them as a row here. That is not quite right, but you can't actually move the posts for this type of fencing, unfortunately. So if we wanted to hang them between, it would end up looking like this. Which isn't terrible, but isn't the best. Of course, we don't need to keep this pergola either if we wanted to have something else over here. And we can, of course, change the colors of the pergola to change the feel of the space. As far as what I planned on doing pergola space over here, well, if you didn't know, there was another what's known as a sim session, like an event that went on quite a while back, where in base game there was temporary access to things like tents and yard sale tables. And then when the event was over, these things didn't just magically go away. And we do have access to them in use of the gallery. So if you go to the gallery and you look for those items, they are there. They're just called by a different name, what have you, but you can find them and see them. I'm wondering why I'm not tucking that into the pillar. It's having some issues again, which is not surprising because The Sims has some interesting issues, but it doesn't look bad still. Look how cute that is. Pretty great. Pretty great. So if we couldn't do some kind of ambient wall light or these odd gals, I'm glad you put this underneath the pergola actually. These ambient ceiling lights are different. They're all like debug items, but you won't see it when you're going about your game, so feel free to use those in debug if you want to do so. I feel like we're looking pretty good here. And if you wanted to change the light for the time of day, you can hit your L button, and that helps you see whatever's going on regardless of time of day. So really quick, before we fill up this last space, if we want that sellers table, we have to go to Sims Sessions, and you should be able to find in here, yeah, as I said, tents, plenty of tents, and here's what we were looking for. Tables, sellers tables specifically. So just because you don't have a pack doesn't mean that you can't get a table to sell things. These are all tables that are available in base game that were used for a temporary event of some kind. So I'm going to look at, all of them have different fronts. And then I'm going to, I think, let's get rid of this one. Exchange it for the tomato, I think. Sounds pretty awesome. And then let's actually put that one by the fish. And then keep the art one. And then keep that one. And yeah, this looks pretty great. I'm thinking it might even scoot these a little bit more forward. And then people come up here. It's a little bit different with this open space here, because with this open, close this off actually. Because with this open, it would be weird to sell stuff this way. Like you're standing here and you're selling stuff to people passing through, and then you'd have some people coming in this way. That would not work out for most people, I think. And this is going to be an orchard, so don't worry too much about looking back there. This is pretty great. These are base games, so you will be able to utilize them. And if we wanted to, we could get some decor items. I'm thinking, actually, of going into the kitchen and perhaps getting some bowl of fruit, perhaps, or some boxes, some stacking crates that have pictures of foods and vegetables on them. Some might be better off over here. Like you've just stepped away briefly, but you'll be right back with anything. I might even put a canvas over here. We could use a frog tank, but we could also get perhaps a fish tank so I can hold that frog. We'll see how that goes. Look at it. This also is a brand new item, by the way. If you like having beautiful hand-woven blankets, you can add that to your build whenever you like now. I'm gonna add a couple bowls of fruit for that person. I'll do a live space squid. No. A frog is more sensible. I think we'll go ahead and just grab the easel from the study as well. And even get some of the unlocked ones, like the deluxe easel if we wanted to, or the pre-owned painter's easel. Let's keep the lighter tone for now. Like this person has the option to do different paintings for you and paint sets. There is a decor object that I'm thinking of. We should be able to get. I figured this would be available for anybody who wants to sell items, and these are more other people. But this is specifically for you, the player. Know when you work on the handiness skill, you can get all these little wooden sculptures and make them yourself. It's pretty awesome. But I'm specifically trying to find there we go. This is like stacks of canvas. also put something like this leaning against the frame, or this set of blank canvases leaning against the frame. Alternatively, we can also give them images. Like this person has a wide range of paintings that they're trying to sell, and they can also do work right here now. Very cool, right? Just enough to give the illusion of being a busy, filled place. You could put one of these up on the wall. Raise it up for 90. Just have that hanging there like people come through and want to hear about things going on in the neighborhood. So here's a big bulletin board right here talking about all the things that we have or that we do. Probably it might be better to hang it over here. But I kind of like the busy look of it on the wall there. Sorry. We're looking at it so far. Hit save just to be on the safe side. And if I haven't responded to something going on in chat, it's not deliberate. There's been some ongoing issues with chat not loading properly. So I do apologize sincerely if chat isn't being responded to appropriately, but once that issue's addressed, once the issue's addressed, it will no longer be a problem. So just hold on for a little bit longer, and I'll do what I can on my end to make it right. You might be thinking to yourself, this looks pretty empty. And unfortunately, there's no sprinklers in this game. But there are. I was originally going to have this be an orchard, but I suppose that won't take up too much of this space, and we can still have a nice outdoorsy spot if we wanted to, with some chairs and things like that. But this spot will be where we have some of our trees. And we can put a little telescope here. And if you want to have trees but you don't want to have to plant them, you can go onto the gallery and search, say, apple tree. And you will find apple trees that people have previously planted that you can then just place onto your lot. And there you go. You have an orchard of apple trees. You can do this indefinitely. Obviously, if you're trying to get a goal of some kind, you want to accomplish something, then this is not going to help you meet what the game wants you to do. It might not count towards your stock. But if you're just trying to build something and have fun with it, then it shouldn't be any issue at all. And this will give you plenty of different plants and we could add a cow plant if we wanted to. Oh my. That was a little bit too large, wasn't it? No worries, we'll fix all that. And place some of these. Let's put a lighter wood tone. And these are of course already planted, but if there are other plants that you want, then we're going to definitely leave some space for people who want to grow and plant their own stuff. That way it's not just entirely items that have already been grown and are already ready. You can have opportunity to have anything that you still want to grow or have in the game. And keep in mind when doing this that there are some plants and trees that are not base game, so these fortunately all appear to be base game. But if these were, for example, there's specific kind of mushroom types that only grow in cottage living. There are specific kinds of plants that only grow in eco lifestyle, or that only grow in, you know, a variety of different worlds. So we don't want to say we're building something that's inclusive to everybody, regardless of whether or not you have or own specific packs. And then in the same breath, we have excluded people by not having the things that they need. Some trees. There we go. And for some of these little pots here, we don't actually have to even put real plants in them if we didn't want to. Because you can add in, if you like, you can go over to the outdoor plants, and you can just take a particularly lovely plant that you enjoy, and you can just put it over it, and then it looks like that plant is in that pot. And if it's too big, you can use your bracket keys to shrink it a little, to make sure that it fits right. Double check. Maybe shrink this down a little bit. Looks perfect. And then I'm leaving these open for any player who downloads this who might want to plant items for themselves. So that you have plenty of space to plant items for yourself. We can, of course, actually go in and grab some starter plant items. Just put some of these down. I might put a bench here. Grab a couple uncommon plants as well. And rare plant packet. And then, oh yeah, the Brim Cruiser. Love that. That was part of a recent event going on, much like the one that's going on right now, where you have the option, if you'd like, to try to go ahead and do specific things to win specific items. It's a very fun, useful event to unlock specific things that you might want. This evening, we will be working on playing that event together with a character that we built last night. So feel free to tune in at 5 tonight, and we'll be playing that game together. Let me see. I know that in debug there is options as far as cute little items for building. This one's just a notebook. Let me rotate that around. Okay. But there are some items that definitely have more of a garden feel. We could put some of those around here. Now, if you see something like a chair in debug, your Sims can't actually sit on something like that. So, if you are trying to get something that they'll use, don't get something in debug, because they won't actually be able to use those items that you're seeing. They'll only be able to walk through, or walk past, or walk around them. They won't actually be able to do anything with them. These cars, you can't actually drive these cars. Look at all these. Look at that nice red, beautiful black truck, cutesy little car, and none of these work. You can't do anything with any of those. I do like that. I might put one of those in there, and maybe one of these. It's a bit big for the others, but it's pretty cute. And you can't use archways and things, they'll go around or through them. And these are all shapes that you can build with the clay. Like if you wanted to have a clay pot, and you wanted to put that on a stove or something because you don't have any items that are equivalent to that, you can grab that from debug and put a little pot on the stove if you want to. There's even fun things like street lights, signs. So there are quite a few options out there in debug if you wanted to look and see what they have. You might find something that feels very useful to you that you didn't otherwise know existed in game for build purposes. Should we throw down a couple of fish on here? Is it weird to just slap down a fish on a table to sell a fish? This seems pretty wild. But I'm just gonna leave that. That looks hilarious. I think you should note they also have pseudo pets. These aren't real, but they do exist in debug, and you can grab them if you want to. There's even things like this, which make for really fun ideas for builds. Graffiti. People love to use the graffiti. Signage. This wouldn't be bad to have as like something to put out here. Parking meter. You also have flagpoles. This cover, which doesn't look too bad, to be honest. Don't want it to look too busy. There's a little sand bucket, like for the beach. Very cute. Little tiny sand shovel. I'm just gonna put here like some kid brought them to the community garden. Or it could just be not. We'll save that for a beach build. But I will keep this bucket. I also have the option of having a stool, a little pot, you know, lots of things that you might not have heard about or realize were even here. Grandmother's will. It almost looks like somebody's just put down a note. And by the way, these rocks are bigger than they appear. Much bigger. But you can, of course, use your bracket keys and shrink them down. But they only shrink down to a certain maximum shrinkage. So don't be surprised if you can't get them quite as small as you were hoping. They're still good. A random fruit tree. There's a lemon tree. I'm gonna put that down. Cherry tree. Now these could actually be pear tree. They will go along. I'll leave that spot open. And maybe grab like some strawberries to put up here. And then, everybody loves a little cow plant. Might even put a second cow plant in here, sitting around the corner. Okay, maybe not. I better not. One cow plant should be enough. And then over here, we could just have a little outdoorsy space with a cute little wooden picnic table. Some of these nice wooden chairs. Like you are, in theory, sitting around this. Enjoying yourself. Relaxing, taking life easy. Alternatively, we can also use these ones. Unfortunately, this doesn't have the option to do any other color. So it's just that. So I'm not sure if that looks quite right. I feel like a darker wood tones feel more appropriate with this. And since we already have this picnic table over here, we could also have a little outdoor grill over here too. Something nice. And then the orchard's here if you wanted to snatch something up and then come over here and sell your goods. We'll go ahead and use our terrain tools to give a little bit more tone and depth to the space. We could even add like a little path in between here, like people have been going. Not quite like that, but the people have worn this coming around. And there you go. A full community garden with lots of plants growing, beautiful space to sell your wares and your goods. Pull both of these out and this out. And I might scoot this space in a little bit. And then grab my terrain tools and we'll fill that in nicely. And then maybe add back a little bit of I guess I should scoot this closer this way. And then you have plenty of space still to come around and get your goods. Looks pretty nice, right? And that's it for this afternoon. You can tune in again at 5 tonight for us to go over the new holiday event. Thank you for watching. And before I go, I'll go ahead and upload this as base game community lot. We're gonna list this under just generic for now. Might as well have it be good soil. And we'll go ahead and save the lot. There's one bathroom. Call it a community lot with the community. It's a garden. A community garden. It's all base game. Only base game. And then we'll just share that lot to the gallery. Thank you for stopping in.